Hello, good day. I am LOPEZ from BSBA Financial Management, Section CO13, and I will be discussing about tautology. So let's define first the meaning of tautology. A tautology is a statement that is always true. So what do we mean by a statement that is always true? So to learn more about this topic, let us see the examples. So we have here the example. Let us find if P or not P is a tautology. So in the proposition P, the value we have here is true and false. On the second column, to find the second column, to find this, the negation of P, we will negate the value of the proposition P. Negation meaning is the opposite. So the opposite of true is false, and the opposite of false is true. So in the proposition P, the value we have is true and false. On the second column, we will negate the values we have on the first column, or the value of proposition P. To negate means to get the opposite. So the opposite of true is false, and the opposite of false is true. So now that we have the value of these two propositions, we will now finally get the value of the third column. The P or not P, if it is a tautology or not. So this symbol is a disjunction. So let's look at the truth table of disjunction. So as we can see, if the two value is true and false, the value will be true. So here, true and false, the answer is true. False and true, the answer is still true. So here we have proven that P or not P is a tautology. Number 2 example. Is Q or open bracket negation of Q and R and not Q a tautology? On the table, we have here the values of proposition P, Q, and R. On the fourth column, we will get the value of this Q and R, the conjunction of Q and R. So let us look on the truth table of conjunction to answer the fourth column. So here in conjunction, if one value is false, then the answer is false. So here let us look on the value of Q and R. So true, true, the answer will be true. True and false, answer will be false. False and true, false. False and false, false. The true and true, true. True and false, false. False and true, false, and false and false is false. So for the next column, we will negate the value of the fourth column. So negation again is the opposite. So true opposite is false, then so on and so forth. True, false, here is true, true, and true. For the next one, we will negate the value of Q, the second column. So again, negation. So false, we will be focusing here on the second column. So false, false, true, true, false, false, true, and true. For the next one, which is the negation of Q and R and not Q. So here we'll be looking on the truth table of the conjunction. So the values will be false, false, true, true, false, false, true, and true. And for the last column, which we will identify whether the statement is a tautology. So here we will get the disjunction of Q and this one. The conjunction, the disjunction rather of these two. So here is a truth table of for disjunction. So the values will be true, 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 and true. So as we can see, the values are all true. So that means Q or open bracket, Q and R, and not Q close bracket is a tautology. So next example is P or Q or not P or Q is a tautology. So we have here a two proposition and its values. So on the next column, we will negate the P proposition. So negation, again, the opposite. So opposite of true, false, false, true, and true. So for the next, we have here the truth table of disjunction. So here we can copy the table here. You can copy the answer here. So true, 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 and false. For the fifth column, let's get the value of not P or Q. This, the value of this. So we will be looking here on the truth table of disjunction again. So the values will be true, false, true, and true. And for the last column, let's see if the values will be all true. So here again, disjunction, we will be using disjunction again. This symbol is disjunction. So we'll be getting the disjunction of this and this. So the values are true, 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 and true. So as we can see, this third example is also a tautology. So next, let's find if this is a tautology. Again, we have two propositions P and Q. On the other two columns, we have here the negation of P and Q. So for the next column, the fifth column, we will get the value of P and Q. So we will be using conjunction here. This symbol is conjunction. So we'll be getting the conjunction of P and Q. So the values are true, false, false, and false. So let's move on to the next column. We will get the disjunction. So now disjunction, we will get the disjunction of the values of the negation of P and Q. So the values are false, true, true, and true. Then last column is to get the value of this. Last is to get the value of this. The P and Q or not P or not Q. So here we have used the here we use the disjunction. So the values are true, 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 and true. So for this example, we again prove that it is a tautology. This is the next example. So we have here the three propositions P, Q, and R. I already get the negations of P and Q, so we will be proceeding to the next, which is to get the values of not P or Q. And here is the truth table of disjunction. So the values are true, true, false, false, true, true, and true, and true. Next we will get the other one, the value of not Q or R. So again we will be using disjunction. So true, false, true, 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 false, true, and true. And again, So we just have to look on the truth table here in case you were confused. So last, we will be getting the value of not P or Q or not Q or R. And again, it is a disjunction. So the values are true, 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 so on and so forth. Yeah. And here another example of tautology. So P or Q or not Q or R is a tautology. And now we have our last example, is the negation of P open bracket and not P or Q close bracket or Q a tautology. So as what we always do, we will use a truth table, and there you can see the two values P and Q. For the next, we will get the negation of P, which is here. We already get the negation of P. Then we will get the value of these, and again we will use the truth table for disjunction. So here are the values true, false, true, and true. So for this column, we have here this symbol which is for conjunction. So here is a truth table for conjunction. So the values are true, false, false, and false. For the next, we will get the negation of this one. The value of the negation is false, true, true, and true. And for the last column, finally, to get the value of this, we will again use disjunction. Here we will use disjunction for this and for Q. So the values are true, 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 and again true. For the last example, we can conclude that this is a tautology. So open bracket P and not P or Q close bracket or Q is a tautology. So that's the end of my presentation. I hope you learned something about tautology. Thank you. Have a great weekend.